Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you an episode of the series American Horror Stories called Bloody Mary. Enjoy watching. For girlfriends Elise, Bianca, Lena, and Maggie discuss the Bloody Mary, which fulfills the wishes of those who swear allegiance to her. Then they decide to summon her. They light a candle, stand in front of the mirror, and say aloud the name Bloody Mary 2 times in a row. When they start saying it for the 3rd time, Bianca turns on the light in the room and runs away. Elise comes into her sister's room and asks her not to embarrass her in front of her friends. After the conversation, the girls decided to summon the spirits separately. Each of them stands near the mirror, lights a candle, and says, "Bloody Mary," 3 times. Then the candles go out, the mirror cracks, and Bloody Mary appears in it, who says that if they obey her, they will get what they want. She wrapped her arms around each of them and began to whisper something. Then the girls heard Maggie screaming and ran to check if she was okay. But only Bloody Mary scratched out her eyes. The lights turn on and Maggie is fine, as if nothing had happened. The girls are very scared. They can't believe their eyes. Maggie denies everything and says she didn't scream and that she's fine. During the conversation, the girls learn that Bloody Mary told each of them the conditions under which their desires will become reality. In order for Bianca to enroll at Yale University, she needs to accuse the school psychologist of rape. Lena needs to throw Anna off the pyramid. She will be paralyzed, and then she will become the captain of the support group. If Maggie wants to date River, then she should leak explicit photos of his girlfriend on the internet so that she would embarrass herself. But the most interesting and difficult part went to Eliza. She wants to become rich, and for this she must harm someone, but she did not tell who exactly, but only added that she would not do it for anything. The next day, the topic of the physics lesson was reflection and refraction. As an example, there was a mirror on the back of the board. When the teacher opened it, the girls saw Bloody Mary in it, who told them to immediately fulfill the contract they had concluded with her. Scared friends run screaming out of the classroom. They discussed the need to fulfill the terms of the contract in order not to be left without eyes. Bianca is in the office of the school psychologist, where they are discussing her essay for admission to the university. He gives her advice that if she wants to go to Yale, then she needs to put pressure on Pity. At this time, he holds her hand and the girl becomes uncomfortable. Then the mirror breaks and Bianca sees him hanging in the reflection. But she wasn't the only one who saw such reflections. Other girls have also faced this. Meanwhile, Elise tries to find information about Bloody Mary and finds her real name is Margaret Worth. The girl learns that Lena wants to harm Anna in order to fulfill the terms of her contract. They come to the gym to stop her. The training has begun, but Lena was never able to frame her captain. Night falls and the girls cover all the mirrors with rags. Elise goes to work in order to feed her family. Bianca is left alone, but the rags on the mirrors don't help her. They fall to the floor and Bloody Mary gives her a deadline to fulfill her contract, namely until midnight the next day. Elise returns home and finds her sister sitting on the street. The girl tells her about what happened, and at that moment, a frightened Maggie runs to them. She informs them that Lena is dead and that she was killed by Bloody Mary, because when she came to her house, her eyes were scratched out. The next morning, Elise goes to the Historical Society to learn more about Margaret Worth. It turns out that she is involved in a conspiracy about the Underground Railroad. She hosted slaves at her home who thought they would be safe there, but she hid them in the basement, didn't give them water or food, and the best thing that could happen to them was to return to slavery. At night, the child of one of the women asked for water. His mother began to call Margaret, but her attempts were useless. But Worth attacked the wrong people, and one day her body was found in the house. She was stabbed, and the killer was never found. Then the man shows Elise the blade that supposedly killed Margaret. He says that this blade is of African origin and was very ancient, even for that time. Maggie hacks into River's girlfriend's account and finds an intimate video of her cheating on her boyfriend. The girl wants to post all these materials, but Bianca tries to dissuade her because of her, a person can commit suicide. Maggie couldn't fulfill the terms of her contract. Eliza has found the place where Margaret Worth's house is located. She takes her sister Bianca with her, and they head to the Historical Society building in order to steal a blade and kill Bloody Mary with it. While Bianca distracts the historian, Elise meanwhile finds the key and takes the blade. The girls try to call Maggie, but she doesn't come out, and she doesn't answer the phone either. Then they decide to enter her house through the back door. But they find her dead and with her eyes scratched out. Bianca wants to call the police, but Elise tells her that it's pointless and that they need to deal with her themselves. The girls arrive at the place where Margaret's house stands. Elise says that you need to kill her with a blade in the place where she takes her power, then she will stop being reflected in all the mirrors. The road to the house turns out to be much scarier than they thought. Along the way, they come across many different mirrors. Elise goes into that very hut, but finds only broken mirrors there. They decide to call near a mirror located on the street. When Bloody Mary appears, she asks Elise if she has brought everything. The girl says yes. And Bianca doesn't understand what's going on. Then the girl tells about her conversation with Bloody Mary at the moment when they called her. Elise did ask to become rich, but Bloody Mary immediately realized that this was not what the girl really wanted. What she really wanted was peace, security, and power. Not sleeping in cars and not starving, but in return she needed to bring her a few things. Namely, a dagger and the blood of 3 innocent people. It was Elise who killed her friends Lena and Maggie. And now he's planning to kill his sister Bianca. She sneaks up on her sister from behind and punches her. As soon as Bianca regains consciousness, Elise is going to scratch out her eyes. But Bianca pulls out a blade and kills her sister with it. Then Bloody Mary admits that she cannot kill. She only reflects the truth to people and forces them to accept what they really are. And then she tells Bianca the truth about her fate. One day they began to take them outside, but it was not for nothing. The slave hunters arrived. Then one of the slaves looked in the mirror and saw her face for the first time in several years, and thanks to this she remembered who she really is. She is a servant of the great Mamie Veda, and at that moment, she asked the goddess to grant her justice. She stamped her foot 3 times and killed all the hunters. But she didn't have enough justice. She needed revenge. And then she took a blade and killed Margaret Worth with it, and with her her servant, who had been living a lie for a long time. But instead of giving her the truth, she took her life. Then Mamie Veda created a special place for this woman, and now she is forever locked in mirrors. She tells Bianca that she sees innocence and a pure heart in her. Bianca says it shouldn't end like this. All her loved ones are dead. Then she takes the blade and fills a glass with her blood, and then gives it to Bloody Mary. She drinks all the blood and is released from the mirror. Now Bianca has become the new Bloody Mary. But the girl is clearly not happy about what happened. Now she comes to the call of people.